Hi, Dick Rauscher here. Do you know what the most dangerous belief that almost all of us hold? I'll be back in a moment and we'll take a look at that subject. This morning we're going to take a look at an article. It's number 239, Stony Hill Nugget number 239. And it's entitled Humanity's Most Dangerous Unconscious Belief. We'll take a look at some of the sources of that belief and then what we might need to do to correct it. First concept in the paper or in the article is we need to increase our self-awareness. We need to become aware of the false beliefs that we carry. Why is this important? Well, let me give you a metaphor. I'm going to send you to New York City, okay, and I'm going to give you an address in New York City, and I'm going to tell you it's really important to get there. And then I'm going to give you a map. What I'm not going to tell you is that that's a map of San Francisco. So the question is, how helpful is the map that I gave you going to be in New York City when the map is for San Francisco? Our false beliefs give us bad maps of reality. And then we go out and we wonder why we keep bumping into things. Most of the time when we experience pain, it's because we have a bad map. We've run into a building that wasn't on the map or a tree or whatever, okay? So it's kind of a metaphor. False beliefs end up with bad maps. And if you got a bad map, navigating reality is going to be a bit of a challenge. The second concept we talk about in the article is, where do these false beliefs come from? Well, obviously, most of them come out of our childhood. When we're little, we have a tendency to create really simple explanations for things. In other words, we try to keep the world really simple. We're living in a very complex and confusing adult world. So we kind of break things down into good and bad, right and wrong, what makes people happy, what makes them sad or angry, what's safe, and what isn't. And all of these beliefs are based on, if you want to look at it from kind of an extreme standpoint, these are unconscious beliefs of a very, very primitive, not, and I use the word primitive in terms of being young and not matured. They're primitive beliefs from childhood, okay? And we have to take a look at those and become aware of them because most of them are distortions or false beliefs. What is the most dangerous belief that we come out of childhood with? Well, that's really simple. We come out with the belief that who I am, myself, is separate from the whole rest of the universe. I am a totally independent, autonomous, unique self. Now, most of our culture encourages that thinking. Most of our culture teaches us that that's really true, and you want to become a really, really strong self, a really competent and successful and educated self. The problem is what we're doing, and this is the next key concept in the article, is that we're using our memories and the fact that our human brain has the ability to remember what happened to us last week and what happened to us yesterday and what happened to us this morning. And what we do is we string all those happenings, all those memories together, and then we say, well, yeah, I'm a self, right? I experienced all those things. They all happened to me. Of course, what we don't recognize, now we got a bad map, is that they didn't happen to us. They just happened, and we happened to be there to observe them. But as a child, what we do is we create a separate sense of self because we string all those things together. And we do this all the time, by the way. And we continue doing this as an adult. Talk about bad maps. Next point in the article is we are not separate, unique individuals. We are totally dependent on the universe and our planet. Just think about it for a moment. We need oxygen to breathe, right? Where does that come from? Well, if we really want to see the source of oxygen, we got to go back several billion years, and we got to look at the tiniest creature on the planet who spent a couple billion years, called bacteria, and they, for a couple billion years, created oxygen so that we could have an atmosphere. So we're really dependent on ancient bacteria. Some of those bacteria went into plants. Plants provide the food. But the plant couldn't live if it didn't have the bacteria that would convert sunlight into energy and food, and of course it needs the sun. So we're again dependent on the sun, and then of course in the galaxy. If we didn't have a living galaxy that knew how to, after the moment of the Big Bang, if our galaxy didn't understand how to take hydrogen and helium and mix it all together and create mega stars that then went supernova and blew out into the universe the dust and the elements that we need to make secondary suns, then we wouldn't have this, our sun, right? So we're depending on the galaxy for 14.8 billion years. Everything had to happen for us to be here. And, of course, obviously, if we want to keep breathing, we need a lot of trees. Basic concept number 6 is the idea that what we're really looking at is that Gaia is nature, and nature is a living system. And everything in a living system is mutually beneficial. So everything that we're learning about nature and about the way the universe works is that we are not separate and unique from the rest of the universe. We are an integral part of that entire living system, a living universe, living planets, and then, of course, living systems. So this leaves us with a very, very important question. If we're getting a lot of benefit from our planet, the question that I would leave you with is, what's Gaia getting out of our being here? In other words, what are we contributing to nature? Why is our presence important to this planet? Because right now, it's exactly the opposite. We're actually in the process of taking everything we want from our planet, every resource, and we're ending up polluting it, etc. So the question is, if we're not of benefit to Gaia or to nature, then what the 14.8 billion year wisdom of nature and evolution is teaching us is that Gaia doesn't need us. In fact, we're kind of a negative influence on the planet, and Gaia will probably end up dealing with us probably fairly harshly. If we're not going to be a contributor to Gaia, and that's the question, is what do we need to do, then if we're not of mutual benefit, and it is a living system, and we're a part of it, and we're not separate, we're integrated right into the universe, and we're running with false beliefs that give us bad maps, the only way that we're going to get out of this mess is we got to grow in self-awareness and recognize that we have bad maps and that we really need to take a hard look at those. If you'd like to read a little bit more, click the links below and it'll take you to a sign-up page for the nuggets, so you can get a subscription that's free, and it'll also take you to the nuggets, to the actual article, so you can read that. Remember, life is a journey, so stay awake and keep a focus on what truly matters, what's truly important in your life. And finally, remember to green up your sustainable footprint on the planet. Nature is counting on us to help her.